Hi, Stacy here with Bluebird Paper and Thread. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I appreciate you taking a minute to stop by and see what my channel is all about. I like to talk about cross stitch and sewing, and hopefully at some point a little bit of quilt making and card making, which consists, paper crafting, which consists of um, card making and treat bags and gift tag holders. And this little squirm worm here, this is Chanel. She's the baby, and she got fixed yesterday, and she won't keep her cone on. So we've been keeping her in the carrier, and she's been doing just fine. But since I brought her out here, she's been a little unsettled, I guess. So we ordered, my daughter ordered her one of those little surgical, like post-surgery suits that's supposed to cover the incision to keep them from scratching and licking. And we're waiting for that to come. It can come anytime between now and, or 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. So we're hoping for soon. My daughter stayed up with her all night to keep her from chewing at her stitches. And then she got to a point where she was, I have to sleep. Can you please watch her? And I'm like, sure. And as I'm saying sure, she just like drops her in my lap and walks away. And I'm like, this is what having babies is like. Best birth control ever. Anyway, so this is Chanel. She's about 6 months old, and we just got her fixed. So I'm gonna hold her for a little bit. I may let her down, but I don't really want her, because of the surgery. She hasn't really gone to the bathroom. I mean, she has, but not number 2 yet. So I want to make sure she doesn't find something in here that, oh look, a litter box, and decide to go. I know, baby. I know. It's awful. It's so awful. But she's been really good so far. It's only been a day. We've only had her home for 12 hours. So this week, with the rain, we did better than we had the rainstorms before. With the puppy, I went to Target when I knew that it was going to be raining for days on end with no break, and I picked up a rope toy, which he loves, and then I found a toy, a ball that was has a ton of different angles on it. So it, when you move it, it bounces wonky, and it kind of goes all over the place. And let me tell you, 30 to 45 minutes of him playing with that, and he picked that thing up and went and put himself to bed. So that was very helpful to us during this last rainstorm. Where I live, it was constant, but it was not super heavy rain, but it wasn't a drizzle either. So we made it through. It's fine. I mean, like, everything's a little soppy, but we did okay. Yes, we did okay. I know, baby. And so so that was good. He didn't play with the rope toy at all, but that's okay. He found something he did like, and it was just fine. So we had no issues with any of the cats. We had no issues with him. He chewed his bedding a tiny little bit, but that was about it. What, baby? I know. You want down. You want down? Last night she was growling at us. I know, sweetheart. You want down? Okay. 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 All right. So we'll see what she does. I had 2 finishes today. One I may embellish a little bit more. I think I posted both of them on Instagram. I had a new start, and then I found a bunch of stuff in a box that I don't want to say I forgot that I had, but I forgot. I mean, I knew it was there. I knew something was there. I just forgot exactly what all was in that box. So I pulled that out to show you. No haul. Excuse me, cat fur. No haul, but I think I've got some stuff coming this week. I did place an order through Hollis Hands Creates, I believe, for some trim for one of my finishes. I did not have any trim that I liked that went with it, so I thought, I like it plain, but I thought if I could get a trim around the seam, that would make me happier. So let's go ahead and start with my finishes. I'm technically allergic to cats, and so she's just kind of went poof, and all of her fur came out, and now it's floating everywhere. I finished Valentine Quaker, fully finished it. I stitched this on 40 count blush linen. So it's a very, very pale pink linen, and I used the call for floss, ripe melon. And then I bought the finishing kit, which was the pink gingham and this pink wool patch. And then I added the 2024 charm in rose gold to the top, just so that I know that this was finished in 2024. I added the rickrack. Rickrack also came in the finishing kit. And I must say the rickrack was a bit of a struggle. Now that it's stuffed and done, much less noticeable of how wonky it is, but for my first go at putting rickrack in the seam of a pillow, it's okay. So it's done, and I love it. Absolutely love it. The next thing I finished was Strawberry Faire. I don't know where the kitten went. Strawberry Faire. I believe the pattern is October House Fiber Arts. I'm not 100% sure. I stitched this on not the called for fabric. I think this fabric is called A Long, Long Time Ago by Fortnite Fabrics, if I'm not mistaken. And I used a really pretty purple velveteen on the back. So this is the one where I had a very hard time. I wanted to pair a vintage chenille by Lady Dot Creates, so it's the cream that looks coffee dyed, with this, and I just didn't like the way it looked. So I ordered a couple of plummy colors to see if that will be any better. Sorry. I have not put the year charm on this one yet because I want to see the trim before I do that. Once I make a decision on that, I will attach the charm. So 2 fully finished objects. I'm very excited. Let's see. My new start. I was going through my patterns and kind of putting them away until I ran out of page protectors. Had to order more. And I came across this chart in a bag, and I had all of the called for. I mean, it was ready. The only thing it was waiting for was fabric. I think this was a free chart. I'm not sure. Classic Colorworks, Northwoods Express. So this was made in 2015. It's a little, so I mean, it's been around a little bit. I'm stitching this. I found a scrap of 40 count lamb's wool. No, beautiful beige. Oh, it's 32 count, excuse me. 32 count Beautiful Beige by Witchelt. And so I started it. Oh. I started it. And that's how far I got. Oh, let me put this behind it. I will barely have enough to do just the tiniest little allowance to make a pillow. And I think that's what I want to do with this. But I thought, you've got all the threads, you've got the chart. Look, a scrap of fabric. Start it, see if you can get it done quickly. So I did. I started this one. And these are the called for flosses. Just really, really pretty. So I started that. I think this is all just the Valentine Quaker, yeah, finishing stuff for the pillows. And that's all that I started. My whips. I worked on the Stitching with the Housewives weigh-in. February. I kind of want to get this done so I can get it finished and up here on that. Oh. And this is how far I got. So I added the hearts at the top, the outline, and I worked on the house. So the only thing I have left to do on this one if I can find it, are the flowers on top of the house, the grass below the house with some flowers on the side, and then the hearts at the top. Very, very close. It's working up very nicely. I am stitching this on the called for 28 count tea-dyed Monaco. And I love it. It really is a fun stitch. And I already have the name of the month stitched. Here it is. So I'm hoping that this can be a finish in the next week, maybe 2. We'll see. I feel like if I got a good couple of solid nights of stitching, that could get done. I also pulled out I am participating in Teresa Koget's Tier 4 Patreon Tier 4 Sal Hometown. So our first month release is that little corner at the top. And while I didn't stitch every single thing on it, I stitched enough that I was happy with calling it a finish for the month. I'm stitching this on the called for 40 count linen. Up in the Attic is the color by Fox and Rabbit. Now, she redid how the sign looks so that you could more legibly read. It's supposed to say Willow Antiques, and mine just says Willow Antique, or it just says Antique, because I could not fit Willow in there. And I had already had it stitched, and I chose not to rip it out. So it's just fine the way that it is. I might add something at the top. I don't know. But I really do like this. I think if this was such a small amount, even though it's pretty stitch heavy, it really worked up very quickly. So the next one will drop on the 15th, I believe. So we'll be able to see what the next section is going to be. And let's see. Did not work on this one. There was one more that I worked on. Let me go grab it. Please hold. Thank you. I just recorded the second half of this video, and at least I thought I was recording it. Didn't click the record button. At least it's only half. It's not the whole thing, right? All right, last night I pulled out the Scarlet House Entwined Hearts. This one, the called for fabric is 40 count Aztec red linen from Weeks Dye Works. And she used classic Colorworks threads. I had a 36 count peony linen in my stash, and I thought it would be gorgeous. And then I had to change my colors. So I kept the black coffee, but then I changed, and I did oatmeal, cherub, and begonia as my colors. And this is my progress. So what I did is I finished this dividing border here, and I did K, L, M, and N, and then to finish off the black coffee thread, I just started working on the border underneath it because it's the same color. And this was a few hours of stitching last night. I want to pull this out and see if I can't get this done fairly quickly. If I work on it 2-3 times a month, I think I can get it done pretty quickly. I want to get down here. I saved this for the last because that just looks like it's a lot of fun to me. So I pulled this out and I put some stitches in. I only got about, well, I stitched every night except for I think 2 this week. I hosted my monthly get-together with my friends and family on Thursday, so I didn't get any stitching done that night. And there was another night earlier in the week I didn't get stitching done, and I think it was raining and I needed to play with the dog. And I had a late evening for some reason. I don't know. Digging through a box in my bookcase, I found some pieces that I didn't exactly forget about them. I mean, I knew there was stitchy stuff in those boxes. I just kind of forgot what was there. And so I decided to bring these out and show you. Oh, and I forgot, I found another like an index card holder full of charts, and I'll show you that next week. Anyways, so this is a little witch, and it was in a magazine from 2000. So this was either stitched before my son was born or right after he was born. And this is her. And in my dry run, before I hit record, I noticed that I need to finish her face. Her nose needs to be defined, and she needs a mouth. That's, I think, what the problem is. This one was a little difficult. I kept picking it up and putting it down because I messed up on it. And when I stitched this, I was very much a stickler for being correct. That bothered me a lot more than it bothers me now. So I think I just got discouraged. And then with, you know, a toddler and a baby, I got busy. So I will finish this up, and then I'll show you again, and then I'll put it in the drawer to be finished. I found this chart in there by Fancy That. And when I open the chart, I have a whip. So I probably should re-kit this up and give it a finish, because I think it'll be really cute made into a pillow that I can stick in my kitchen window for spring. And I love these colors on this linen. It's really pretty. And this was a kit from Leisure Arts, and it's a Santa, and I think I'm going to, because, you know, look, these are the flosses, and, you know, when this was released, which, does it give us a date? 2001. When this was released, they, you know, we didn't have what we have now to kind of divvy up, and I guess I just, either because I was a busy new mom again, I didn't have time to pull. I don't know. I can't explain what happened 22 years ago. But I can say that I believe that this is where I got. And I messed up so much on that beard. I do remember that. And I do remember getting frustrated and putting it down. So I think what I'm going to do, this is 18 count Ada. I think what I'm going to do is maybe find a 40 count linen in red and try this one again. I think that's what I'm going to do. It gives you the DMC colors, so that will be very helpful, and I think I will be much happier if I just scrap it and start all over. And so I think that will be the plan on this one for sometime in the future, not right away. And then I found this little guy. These were just single little, like, postcard sized charts stitched with DMC flower thread, I believe. And I don't have all the charts. I have most of the charts, not all of the charts. And I know I have a couple of them finished, but honestly, and can't believe I'm going to say this, I went through, before I got back into cross stitch again, I went through, and a bunch of the stuff that I didn't like the finishing of anymore and I didn't enjoy, I tossed. I know I don't, but she will go into my my finishing drawer to be finished, and we'll figure out something cute and put her out in June. I know, I can't. The next thing that I did was a punch needle embroidery by Pine Grove Peddler. This one is finished. It just needs to be fully finished. And here we are. Again, just sitting in that box waiting to be finished. So I think I'm going to finish this into a pillow. I think it would be really, really sweet, and I think it would look great in a dough bowl or in a display somewhere. Yep, I think I finished it. Yeah, it's finished. Just some of these threads didn't poke all the way through. Huh. You know, it's been sitting for a very long time. I don't even know how old this pattern is, but I've had it probably just as long as the others, so I'm gonna say early 2000s. So this one will go into the drawer for the next time I pull out the sewing machine. And then I had this pattern was in a magazine. I don't know what magazine. I know I finished the punch needle and I wanted to make him into a shaped pillow, and that's as far as I got. So I don't know if I'm just going to UFO this and just toss it, or if I'm going to finish it into a pillow. We'll just have to wait and see. Yeah. I found the 18, oh, this is 14 count. I bet that Santa was not on 18. I bet it was on 14 count. Red Ada, and then a 28 count linen in that drawer, or that box. I also found this frame from 1997 that I bought specifically for a chart that I'm working on. Could even have been that fancy, that chart, I don't know. And then this one, Homespun Elegance, handmade frame. I'm not going to pull it out because it's completely sealed, but I found this one as well. And this was expensive. Back in the day, it was $28.50, and I've had this for a very long time. I think I know what goes in here, but I'm not 100% sure. And I think I might have it finished. So now that I have the chart, and now that I know how to finish with this kind of a frame, I plan on putting something in there. And then I found this kit, Heart and Hand Reindeer Sampler. And it came with a little bit of linen and the buttons that you see down at the bottom. And the buttons go, kind of are sewn in around the alphabet. So that'll be really cute worked up. So I'm glad I found that. And I think that that is it. So I have been asked a couple times about a craft room tour, and I'm happy to do that, even though as I look on the other side of my computer here, it's a hot mess. But I have been wanting to kind of get in here and organize. I think that's my problem right now is I've been out here for a year, maybe a year and a half. It's slowly coming together, but I get out here and I craft, and then I'm find that things aren't where I thought they were, or that doesn't make sense where they are, and so I'm moving things around. And honestly, cross stitch has taken over a lot more than I expected, and so I had to rearrange, which means I have to remember and then hunt for things, and it's kind of a vicious cycle. So yes, I would love to do a craft room tour, but I'm curious as to what you would like to see in the craft room tour. Would you like to have just a general overview without getting into the nitty gritty? Would you like to see how I store the different things? Would you like to see in drawers? What would you like to see included in a craft room tour? Let me know in the comments below, and I will start working on that. I will get to it as quickly as I can. Work is starting to pick up, so unfortunately that is what takes up my time in spring and summer. As much as I would not like it to. That's just the kind of job I have. Yeah, so if you could let me know if you'd like to see a craft room tour and what you would like to see in that craft room tour, I would be happy to do my best to accommodate. The Superb Owl event is tomorrow, and I am going. I am going so that I can hear what they have to say about giving advice to new designers, because that is something I am very interested in. I've already got one chart completed. I started kitting it up actually this weekend. Yesterday I started kitting it up. So I'm looking at the flosses, and then I have to find a fabric, and I'm kind of working my way through that. It is not something that I have a time frame on, but I'm working on it. And then I have another couple. I've got one or two more designs that are kind of in the works. But honestly, with my schedule the way that it is, I don't want to spend a couple of hours on a computer right now. I want to spend a couple of hours stitching, because to me I don't have to think. It's kind of brainless activity. And it's my happy place. Crafting is what I do at the end of the day to kind of relax and decompress, and so even though crafting a pattern or a chart is a way of doing that, to me that's more computer work, and I'm on a computer all day long, and I think part of it, I'm not sure where to go once I've got a chart done. And so I'm hoping that by attending the Superb Owl and that particular class, that I'll get some insight. I mean, I'm a smart girl. I can figure it all out. But if someone can mentor you and give you advice, why wouldn't you take it? And so that's what I'm really kind of excited for. My husband is off tomorrow, so I'm not sure if I will be attending all of it, part of it, half of it, just the class. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. He knows that I have signed up to participate, but he has not had a Sunday off with me for a very long time, and that's usually our day to go do something. So I'm not sure what that will entail. But if you're going, I do hope to have some time to get into like one of the stitching tables, or I'm still fascinated by the speed dating. I would love to meet some of you one-on-one. I think that would be really fun. So I just don't know. But I paid for a ticket, and I do have intentions of being there. It's hard too, because I do enjoy watching the game. I don't watch very many football games, but there are a handful of college and pro games that I do like to watch, and tomorrow's game is one of them. I plan on, I have some meatballs. I have to kind of look at the bag and see if I have enough to make sandwiches for 4 or more. We're not having a party, but you know, my son eats for like 3, so I have to make sure I've got enough food for everybody. So I might pick up some more meatballs. I have spaghetti sauce already. I'm just going to throw them in the crock pot in the morning and let them simmer until it's time to eat. Go grab some provolone cheese and some French rolls, and I think we're just going to have some meatball sandwiches for dinner. Probably my husband will want some chips and dips, so we'll probably do something like that. I may or may not make a cake or brownies or something. I don't know. Again, baking takes time away from stitching, so I'm not sure what I'll do there. But just low key, just 2 to 4 of us, and that's it. Yes. Needlework market. I have been going through and making a cart, and I'm really pleased that as of right now, I'm using my credit card points to purchase, and everything that I want that's a wish, I threw into the cart, and I still have like $25 or $30 left in points to use. So I'm like, yes. So we'll see. I'm gonna pare that down, because if I can pick up a linen, I would like to do that. We'll see. I was torn a little bit on the Teresa Kogut. One of her books has a lot of Patreon charts in it. They are charts that were available. Most of them are charts that were available before I joined, but I think they might still be available to purchase. So now what I have to do is I put the book in my cart, and I looked at all the charts, and I went through all of my Teresa Kogut charts, and I only have one, which I was surprised. I thought I had more than one. I only have one. So now I have to decide. I'm going to go into the Patreon secret shop, which is where her Patreon charts are, and I need to decide if I add them all up, is the book going to be cheaper and I just pay for one duplicate chart, or do I wait for the book to go on sale in her own shop, her Etsy shop, because Patreon members get a discount. So with Teresa Kogut's charts, I may pull those out and purchase them at a later date, when I can get them on her Etsy shop with a discount. I haven't decided, because, you know, then part of me is like, but what if they're gone and they're never to come back? Really? Like, they're never going to come back? So I haven't quite decided. I did feel better knowing that I hadn't already purchased all of the charts. It was just one chart out of that whole entire book that I've already purchased, and the purchase price was not bad. I'm thinking it was like $7 or $8. It was not bad at all, and it might have been one that was included with my membership. I don't know when it was released, but it might be one of those. The other thing is there's 2 new charts that she's putting out in the book that she will be making available to her Patreon group independently, because all of the other charts in this group or in this booklet are former Patreon charts. So essentially, if you're a Patreon member, you already have all the charts, depending on when you became a member. So she's doing that as a one-time exception. So there's that. That way I can pick and choose. I mean, I love all of her things. Don't get me wrong, but there's some in that book that I know I won't stitch. So is it better just to purchase the ones that I will stitch? I don't know. So it's in my cart, and we're going to think about it. I heard somewhere that there's a new Tiny Town coming out, but I have not seen anything about it as of yesterday. So I don't know if there's a new Tiny Town or not. I don't know what the theme would be. Usually by now, I feel like last year by now we knew what it was going to look like, but nothing yet. Um, so yeah, so I've just kind of started compiling my list of things that I'm interested in and what I might want to purchase, and then I will pare down from that, and go from there. Um, yeah, I think that's it. I feel like even though I didn't get a lot of stitching done, I got some finishes and kind of worked through another box of stuff in my house. So I feel like I made progress in one way or another. Um, anyways, I hope that you have a great week this week. If you are new to my channel and you made it to the end, thank you so much. Please take a moment and hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, like the video, share the video, comment on the video. I do love reading all of the comments, and I do try to reply. If not with a little like, I do try to comment as much as I can. For the time being, I might not always be able to do that. I do read them all for sure, but if you want to chat or comment, I will read it. I will see it. So please feel free to do that. Have a great week. Happy stitching. And until next time, bye.